Flosstube, it's Helen, East Coast Crafter. I'm still trying to figure out how to get that in the bottom, but technology, I will get there. Welcome back. This is my second video. I started last Wednesday actually, and I had no idea what to expect, but the response has been great. You guys are so nice. And it was so much fun over the course of the week to watch comments come in and see new people subscribed and the nice things people had to say. So that was really nice, and I had a great time kind of watching that unfold. When I wasn't stitching, this is my second video, so it makes, I guess, sense. I have two finishes to show you today, and they are two big finishes that I really needed to get done this week. I stitched so long on Monday, my neck hurt to try and get this one done, but I did. So today I thought I'll show you obviously the two finishes. They're also my whips. That's all I worked on this week. And so then I thought I would pull out some of my other Christmas finishes that I have out, because a couple people asked. I said I had done a bunch of ornaments this year. I pulled those off the tree and the other things that were kind of out and about. I have room in my dining room. We have shelving in here, so this is like my safe room. I know that nothing is going to get knocked over. No balls are thrown in this room. There's no boy fights in this room. So this is my safe room when I have stuff up. So it was really easy. Just go around and collect it. The lighting's not so good today. It poured overnight and it's just gray and dark. This is the best lighting I have in my entire house. So this will have to do. Again, thank you so much for everyone who subscribed and commented. Bendy Stitchy for the great shout out. It was really nice to kind of become a bigger part of this community. So that said, let's get started. And I'm starting right with the biggies. Like I said, I got two things done this week. One of them is a gift. One of them is another one I've been working on all year. I'm so glad to have it done. And I'm hoping at least one of them I will get framed. So we'll start with that one. It is the Armada Designs Nintendo Sal. I started it when it came out. I explained last week, I didn't do the entire thing because she released 24 different games. At the beginning of the year, I was really trying to, I'm going to stitch from my stash. I'm going to use some of this up. So this was the largest piece of fabric that I had that would fit a decent number. It's a 14 count, so it's big. You know, I would have liked it on a 16. That's my preferred, but I didn't have one. So I've done all the games, and this is the one that my husband, once we were getting toward the end, he designed his own. So he designed Tecmo Super Bowl down on the bottom, Blaster Master, and then Tetris was the final block. The way it was originally charted, she had like a really neat kind of border on the edge, but he just, plain and simple, he wanted more blocks in it. So he took that border out, and that gave him room for 2 more rows of blocks. And meant less stitching for me, which was great because this was the deadline piece. This is going to be a Christmas gift. It's for him and my son. My son doesn't know, so I've been stitching this one in bits and pieces when he's at school or when he finally goes to sleep. So this one feels to me like it has taken forever to do, forever. But it's done, and I love it. So that will be taken up to be framed because there's going to be little boy hands all over this. So that one needs a little extra protection. The other one that I said last week, if I got it done, it would be a bonus. And I did. So bonus. This is Frosty Forest Country Cottage Needleworks. Came out great. This is the piece that I have now done. I've done it twice. And I can tell you, I don't need to do it again. Twice was enough. This is done on 18 count dwarf from Picture This Plus. Oh, the Nintendo was a legacy. That was Picture This Plus legacy. I had to change out a few colors because they just, trying to see which way you can actually see it better. They didn't show up on my fabric. The top row is as charted. The bottom row is as charted. The middle row is not. It called for a really light green and a really light blue, and they were gorgeous. The green, it's sea glass. It was weak sea glass, and it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It didn't show up, so I had to change that. And then my middle block, the original chart, you know, it says Frosty Forest and it has some trees and animals. I just really wanted a house in there. So this is the basic house from Reindeer Games with some of the other elements, some of the trees and the little stuff in the grass from some of the other squares. So I did end up charting that one myself, which was kind of a pain, but then I had to stitch it twice. So lucky me, I already had it done. And the colors, I wrote them down for you. This one is Weeks Dye Works Capri. The one on the other side is Classic Colorworks Deep Fennel. And then this middle one is just a DMC. It's 3813. So all in all, I think it came out great. I love this chart. I also did this border. It's very close to this. I just turned it around. So I just think it kind of tied it all together. So that one is done. I'm going to take this one up with me as well. I'm still not sure if I'll frame it. I don't frame all that much. You guys know it's expensive. So if it's something that will fit in a standard frame, I do it myself. If it's something small that's not, you know, like it's not a legacy project, no one's going to be recreating it in 100 years. I'll do something fun with it. I'll Priscilla and Chelsea it. I'll make a block. I have a lot of things to show you today. Just a different way to display it that saves a lot of money. So Nintendo definitely framed. The Frosty Forest, which again, that's the one that I miscounted. I do not have a lot of space down there on the bottom. I don't even know if they can frame that bad boy, so we'll see. If not, I'll make a wall hanging. I had a couple people ask. I explained last week that I did that one last year for myself, and then my mom loved it, so I gave it to her for Christmas. It is now hanging in sunny Florida on the wall. People asked to see a picture, so I will do my best to insert a picture here. I've never done that, which makes me laugh because in my previous life, I edited for my job every day. That was one of the biggest parts of my job that I enjoyed the most. But it's much different when you're editing on proper editing equipment than when you're trying to, you know, figure out how to insert some video on YouTube. But I can do it. So hopefully I've inserted it and you've seen it. It came out great. And that's that. So those were my only finishes. Not only, they took a lot of hours this week. Those are my finishes / lips. So now I thought I would show you some of the other kind of holiday, not winter, this is strictly Christmas. Santa's everywhere, that I have done. So this year for ornaments, I made 18 ornaments. I picked kind of 4 different designs. They all happen to be frosted pumpkin designs. My sister has 4 kids, so I like to have something different for each of the kids. So 4 ornaments, then I want one of each for myself. So there's my 4, and then my son's teacher gifts, and a couple for my best friend, so ornaments everywhere. I worked on them all year, and then I kind of finished them all up together. We happened to have a really big storm, and we lost power for a couple days, so I got all my cording done. It was great. And that little cording machine that Vonna talks about, I watched a lot of Vonna videos when I was finishing. I want to put cording on everything. That little thing is great. So here they are. Here's the first one. This is Here Comes Santa Claus. Like I said, these are frosted pumpkin. This one is right off their website. It's one of their pen pals. And I found these little these little charms. They just have the date. So I just sewed one of those on so that we'll know when we did it. And I just put, that one has dots. So that's Here Comes Santa Claus. This one, I don't remember. I called it Santa Sleigh when I was working on it, so I'd be able to tell how many I had done. This one is from the 2015 just cross stitch, and it's also now, I believe, on their website. So that's that one. That one actually has the same on the back. This one was in the 2016 just cross stitch, and this is Not a Creature with Stirring. I love that little mouse. This one stitched up so quick. This was the first one I did, and the first time I did it, I was like, I'm gonna get these done in no time. And then it took a long time. And I just used little scraps of what I had. The last one was Merry and Bright. I changed all the colors on this one. All these fabrics are just little scraps. So I just kind of used what I had and what showed up. This one last year they did the Merry and Bright Club, and I have the other piece finished, and this was like the extra, the little bonus. So there's that one. The other two that I ended up doing a couple of were this one here. This is a country cottage. It was in 2014, just cross stitch, ornament issue. And I believe those are the called for colors. One, I did this one a couple times, and one I had to darken it up because it didn't show up on my back. And then this one is a freebie on the Lizzie Kate website. And again, I changed all the colors just to make it work with what I had. There's that same on the back. They all have the little charm. This was my first time using this little polka dot fabric. This is the 20 count, so it's not the linen, it's the 20 count, and it was surprisingly easy. I bought a big old piece of this that we'll see if I get to next year. So those were my ornaments. They're on the tree. I'll have to put them back off. The cats haven't even knocked them off yet, so I'll have to put them back on. So then I have just a few other finishes. I was in a no-sew finish box mood for the last couple years. So this is the Merry and Bright full piece. Mine's just on a no-sew cube. I have no idea what this fabric was. I again did this one when I was like, I'm gonna use up my fabric, this will be great. I wouldn't recommend it anyway. It's too light. You really can't see the snow. And that's a lot of snow to put on there that you can't even see. So, but I love it. So it's done. That's Merry and Bright. I have another frosted pumpkin. This was from the 2015 just cross stitch. The December issue, not the ornament issue. And it had an alphabet. You guys have seen this one. I just did the top. This again on a little scrap of fabric that you really can't see the white very well. But that one's all done. Here's what I love about these. First of all, they're easy, so I can just whip them out. The only bad part about cubes for me, I hate styrofoam. Styrofoam is my kryptonite. So I mark it and the hubby cuts it. And that works out well. I love that they're different thicknesses, they're different sizes. So when I set them around, they kind of don't all look the same in a frame. Like they're different. The other two that I have, these are from, I pulled this last night. This is Cross Stitch Crazy Christmas 2015, issue 209. These are an Emma Congdon, a Stitch Rovia. So I've done two of the three. I will get to the third. These would have been gorgeous in a hand-dyed thread. I kind of stitched these before I was introduced to the joys of fancy floss. So I did Jingle All the Way. There's that same red that I had the scrap from. So Jingle All the Way is done, and Let It Snow. This one I leave up. It snows here until April, so this one gets left up. And again, they're different thicknesses. When I put them beside each other, they kind of have a little more depth. I didn't put the bows and everything. You can. I'm not good at making bows, so just left them off. One of these days, I'll make some bows. The other two holiday finishes that I usually have up is, I said last week I've made a ton of stockings. I've made them for all my sister's kids and for my own. So this one is Miles cross stitch. That's his stocking. This is a dimensions kit. There's another one with these same little roly-polies on a sled going down a hill, and I made that one for my nephew. So corduroy on the back. My mom put it together. I'm getting better about my sewing, but not for something like this. Straight lines I can do, not so much that. And then the other one that I have to show you was hanging right up here last week. It is one of my all-time favorite pieces. I'm tempted to leave it out year-round, but I don't. So then I really appreciate it when I do pull it out. So this one is Bothy Threads. This is one I splurged on the framing on this one. This is cut through North Pole. I know, I hear you. The cat's on the table. So cut through North Pole. This one took me a long time because I kind of got into it. I started it kind of right before like all the nieces and nephews and my own kid were born. So it got put away. And then when I pulled it back out, I think I had like the top, like that yellow room and the top left to do. And all the back stitching, because I don't back stitch as I go. So I had all the back stitching. But when I pulled it out a couple years ago, I'm like, I'm getting that done this year. This kit is still available, I believe, right on their Bothy Threads website. I love Bothy Threads. I've done a number of those. And I have another cut through that I've started that I hope to finish in 2018. So that will be future video when I do plans. That's one of the biggies I have. Two little tiny purchases that came in this week. Crazy Annie had her sale. Her shipping is fantastic. She always has stuff like a little bit of a discount. So I picked up, this is brand new from the trilogy. I love this one. And these are the kind of little charts I like because, you know, this thing is tiny. It will be 2 by 3.5. I mean, that's like a two-nighter, you know. I can have fun with the finishing because I know that this is not something that, like I said, future generations are not going to be fighting over great granny's copy of All Is Calm, All Is Bright. So I can be a little more creative. I don't know what I'm going to do with that one yet, but I love it. And then the other one that I've been eyeballing for a long time and I finally picked up is this little Lizzie Kate. I love the colors. I didn't realize it's sampler and weeks. I'll just go through, and some crescent. I'll go through and see what I have and if it's worth buying them for. Maybe just for the letters, that bright, bright red, which is Buckeye Scarlet, which I might have. So I love that one. This little kit came with the fabric. I will not be using that. It's a 30 count Northern Cross cream linen. It was so stiff, so stiff. I'll just pull out some kind of off-white. I think that's it. I really do. So this week, I had made a little chart for myself at the beginning of the year that I've changed a few times of stitches I really wanted to get done this year. So the only one left that's almost done, that got set aside because it wasn't on quite as much of a deadline, is the Lakeside Needlecraft Under the Sea. I didn't bring it down. I showed it last week. There were 2 more sections that had come out. Now the second one has come out that I hadn't gotten to. So I will bust that out. One of them I kind of want to tweak. It has like a mirror that you can put your initials in. I'm not really an initial kind of girl, so I'll have to see what I can find. I'd like to find another Doreen Jones to kind of put in there so it's all the same designer. So I'll see what I can come up with to put in there. So that will be what I'll be working on. And then those tiny little sleigh ornaments that I'm starting for next year, I work on those at basketball when my son's at basketball. So sit on the linoleum, do my stitching. So that is it. That's my plans. I was thinking, because I won't have a ton of stitching to show, the next few videos I do, I thought I might do one, obviously, of 2018 plans, because it's always fun to see what everyone's planning to do. So I like watching everyone else's, because then I get ideas on what I might want to add to future years. So I'll do that, and then I'll do kind of a year in review of some things I got done this year. Because other than these ornaments, I didn't show any of them today. I got quite a few done this week. Oh, and I have another piece I need to fully finish. It's a smaller piece, and it's a winter piece. So it kind of, like I said, it was backburnered until I got that Nintendo one done. But that's done. We will go see what that costs to frame, because I'm sure it will not be inexpensive. So we'll get that done. And if I end up making the wall hanging, that might wait till January as well. But Frosty Forest, like I said, it snows here in the East Coast for a good long time. So that can stay up for a good long time. So that is all. Thank you again so much for tuning in to video number 2 and subscribing. I'm on Instagram at eastcoast.crafter. I will, like I said, try and figure out how it goes in the description. I've tried it 6 times and it's just not saving. So I'll get to that. And until then, I'll be watching all of your videos and stitching away. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday. Bye.